vote tabulation irregularities prior to the certification of elections in your jurisdiction, in certain cases, as I have already done in specific instances, referring to a man in Texas being arrested after trying to cast 1,700 stolen mail-in ballots. The Attorney General on CNN.
Which is the bipartisan commission chaired by Jimmy Carter and James Baker said back in 2009 that mail-in voting is fraught with the risk of fraud and coercion.
But since then,
and until this
haven't proved it.
Let me talk.
Yeah, please.
Since that time, there have been in the newspapers, in networks, academic studies saying it is open to fraud and coercion.
USA Radio News.
Balance of Nature's fruits and vegetables in a capsule, changing the world one life at a time.
The product that you have given me here is, as far as I'm concerned, sent to me from heaven. I love it a great deal. It's hard to find anything that's real nowadays. I enjoy it immensely. It's making my life so much better. I feel so much better. And during this pandemic, I have no worries whatsoever. My immune system has got to be at a top-notch level. I don't seem to get colds or anything. I don't know what getting sick is anymore. This is so cool.
Experience the Balance of Nature difference for yourself. Right now, Balance of Nature is offering free shipping and 35% off on any new preferred order. Call 800-2468-751. That's 800-2468-751. Or by going to balanceofnature.com and make sure to receive this special radio offer by using discount code USA.
President Trump Monday terminated Defense Secretary Mark Esper and stated that Christopher Miller, Director of National Counterterrorism Center, will serve as acting secretary. Miller, a former Army Special Forces officer, oversees an agency within the Office of the Director of National Intelligence. The Houston Police Department has suffered another loss as Sergeant Sean Ross, a 25-year veteran, was shot and killed after entering a hotel parking lot Monday afternoon. Peru in South America is looking for a new leader. USA Radio News' Dan Naraki has more.
Peru's President Martin Vizcarra has been ousted after the South American nation's Congress voted to impeach him. It was the second impeachment vote Vizcarra had faced in recent months on allegations of accepting bribes for government contracts. A vote on the same charges failed in September, but an overwhelming majority voted Monday to impeach the president. Vizcarra announced he would accept the vote and immediately leave the presidential palace. The Speaker of Peru's Congress will assume the presidency until the end of Vizcarra's term in July 2021. From the USA Radio News Ohio Bureau, I'm Dan Naraki.
USA Radio News.
You've heard me talking about MyPillow for 3 years, folks. It's the truth. I get the best sleep of my life with a MyPillow.
It's time for Farm and Ranch headlines on the Southeast AgNet. I'm Tyron Spearman reporting. Well, the peanut crop has slowed down for bringing them into buying points as the overcast skies and wet conditions prevents these last few acres from being brought in. Federal State Inspection Service reports at the start of this week that Alabama has 263,000 tons of peanuts. That's 74% of their crop estimate. Florida only has 152,000 tons counted. That's only 46% of their crop estimate. And then Georgia is 1,222,000 tons. They normally produce about half the peanuts during the year. They're at 68% of their crop estimate. Nationwide, we're showing 2,116,000 tons have been delivered and inspected, and we're showing 63% of the crop estimate so far. A new estimate will be issued tomorrow, and we'll have an update on what the USDA is thinking about the rest of this crop. The big disappointment is the number of Seg 2 peanuts that have been delivered. We've had over 10,000 tons of Seg 2s delivered, but only 637,000 tons of Seg 3s, indicating that after digging these peanuts, the toughness of the vines and getting them through the combine caused some extra farm material to be in the peanut, and that's what bumped them down to a Seg 2 peanut.
Why does Daddy spend so much time caring for the land, Mom?
When he's taking care of the land, he's really taking care of us.
How?
He wants us to have clean water to drink, fresh air to breathe, wildlife to enjoy, and he wants to leave this land better than he found it.
Sounds like Daddy loves us a lot.
He sure does.
Conservation, there's something in it for you. Call or visit your local USDA Service Center, brought to you by the Natural Resources Conservation Service.
I'm Tyron Spearman for Southeast AgNet.
When it really counts, depend on the source for the latest weather updates, keeping you ahead of the storm. 96.3 FM, 1370 AM, The Source.
Today will be cloudy and humid with some spotty showers. Breezy this afternoon with a high of 84 to 88. Then cloudy and very warm tonight with showers and a low of 74 to 76. Hurricane Ada will affect the area tomorrow with some wind and rain and a high of 84 to 88. Then more rain from the storm on Thursday. High 83 to 85. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm Holly Holdren.
This is Ocala Talks with Tom Schmitz, bringing stories that are important to our community in and around Ocala. Plus, of course, a splash of sports as well. Now, here's your host, Tom.
That's right. Good morning. Welcome to Ocala Talks with Tom Schmitz on a birthday celebration day. It is November 10th, the birth date of the United States Marine Corps. Galen Unall joins us now out on the phone from Life South. Galen, my dad was in the Marines, Hank Whittier, Marine. You know, I gotta every now and then I gotta give props to the United States Marine Corps. Today, on the day that the Marine Corps was its birthday, special day for people that are associated with the U.S. Marine Corps and the Department of the Navy, which the Marine Corps is attached to.
Well, you know, I'm going to do my share today as a sailor. I'm going to probably go pick up a Marine and give him a ride somewhere.
Best taxi service in the world.
You know, that's right. Well, you know, I'll see if there's something going on somewhere and see if I can't take them and put them in the middle of the absolute crap, and they'll enjoy themselves because they like that kind of stuff. And then I'll sail away over to safety and watch from afar.
Yeah, but then you got to go pick them back up.
Not always. No, sometimes they'll just meet me on the other side of the war. And, yeah.
You know,
Marines are cut different. You know, and I tell people this all the time. I've dealt with a lot of Marines. And that whole thing for Simplify and Marine for Life and everything, what's a Marine, always a Marine, that is absolutely true.
100%.
So, you know, there's no doubt that you're a Marine from the day to the day you die, and then you go and you guard the pearly gates. But it's a culture like none other.
I was, you know, I have lots of friends who are Marines and everything, and they say the things that happen on Parris Island that transform you and make you a Marine, it's not for the weak at heart.
No. I mean, I went to boot camp in Orlando. I mean, how tough could it be?
I mean, was Mickey Mouse your drill instructor?
No. I hated me. But I think he hated everybody equally, so it was fine. Yeah, he liked me in the push-up position.
I was supposed to go.
That's about it.
I was supposed to go. I went to MEPS. I'd taken the oath and everything. I was on my way to Parris Island. And then I got in a little altercation in a nightclub, and unlike the 60s when the judge would say either jail or the Marines or the Army or something like that, I got in trouble, and the Marines were like, we wanted a few good men. Unfortunately, you ain't it.
Yeah, you know, I don't think people realize it's the hardest branch of service to actually get into. They require the highest skill tests, and you know, they do not take everyone. You know, the Navy, they you know, they're so big.
Joe was in the Navy, okay?
Right. Hey, that's my shipmate. You leave Joe alone. He was a cook. And he was probably a darn good cook.
Oh, I bet he was a really good cook.
So, no, but it's the Navy is just so much bigger than the rest of all of the armed forces and the best. And so we can afford to absorb some of the weaker because it just is, it's our average is still higher
you need
every other branch of service.
You need the Marines or your football team wouldn't be competitive at Annapolis. So I understand.
Hey, we're still undefeated.
Oh, yeah.
The Navy is still undefeated.
And that's a good program. I always said we ran the triple option at Georgia Southern, as you know, under Coach Russell. And then Coach Johnson was there, Paul Johnson, before he went to the Naval Academy. And then left the Naval Academy to go to Georgia Tech. And he was so successful at the Naval Academy, winning 9-10 games a year. And people go, how does that work at the Naval Academy? And I went, folks, he runs a triple option. The triple option is an offense that is not for people to ask questions. You must rely on doing it. You don't ask questions. You do exactly what the book says to do without any questions, without deviating from it at all, and it will be successful. That's an offense prime for the service academies. Don't ask questions,
there is
just
no
do.
Freelance.
Yeah,
absolutely. No freelancing. Get there, do your job. And if everybody does their job, you're going to get 6 yards.
100%. If everybody does their job on offense with the triple option, you'll get between 4 and 6 yards guaranteed every play.
Correct.
And that seems to me to be made perfect for the service academies.
Correct. Yeah. And, I know the Air Force tries to air it out on that. They run a 5-wide offense and, and they always seem to get, the wide receivers, but they just don't have the defense to withstand, that quick type of an offense. Whereas the Navy we're going to grind you out. You can score all you want. It's not going to change who we are, and I think that's the key.
Jeff Monk in an Army is the same way, who, by the way, was a coach under Paul Johnson and then went on to be a head coach at Georgia Southern. And Army, the Black Knights run the same offense, and it's an offense where you don't question it. You just do what your superiors tell you to do.
Yeah, and, because they get undersized linemen because of the restrictions on how tall you can be, and what your BMI can be. There are some real limitations they have to deal with. Not to mention the qualifications are still unchanged. You still have to get approval from a senator and everything else. So
right, yeah, you still got to get a
real honor.
Congress or somebody has to write a letter for you. So, I just found out. You said height and weight and everything. I just found out a buddy of mine. He's home from training right now. He's out in California, but he's home right now on leave for a month. And we were playing around the golf, and I said, "So, how's flight school coming?" He goes, "I got spun out of flight school." And I go, "Huh?" Because he's highly intelligent. He's squared away, good kid, in the Navy, good kid. Now I go, "What? He goes, 6'4", can't fit in the airplanes.
Right. No.
No. I was like, what about a cargo plane or something? Nope, 6'4", can't fly.
No, can't do it. No, and he can't go on a ship. And so the billets for those guys are very, very limited. So you end up at a supply base, in like Guam or something.
He's at Miramar. He's at Miramar in supply.
Yeah, and he won't be there for very long because we'll have to rotate him out. I told my son I'd love for him to play for one of the military academies and play basketball, and that would be a real good chance for him to play D1. But because he's 6'7", the number of billets are that's pretty much what he would do. He could go into the Air Force and work in the radio rooms and things like that, but I don't think that's what he's interested in.
Well, if he gets as good as the Admiral David was before he played for the Spurs, then he could just go around the world as a recruitment tool for the Navy.
Well, you got to remember David Robinson was 6'11".
Yeah.
He went in. People forget this. He went in and was just 6'5".
Right. He was 6'5",
and then
when
he grew while he was there. Yeah. So people forget about that with David Robinson, and He was in the Navy right around the same time I was. So he was like, I remember when the Navy went into the Final Four, and it was like, or in the they made the Sweet 16 that year. It was like, oh my gosh, what is this? So Top Gun was out.
Yeah.
The Navy was an all-time high.
Can we just say there's a handful of movies that when you're flipping through the channels, you have to stop and watch. Like for me, I have to stop and watch The Sons of Katie Elder with John Wayne. I have to stop and watch The Godfather if it's on. Goodfellas, I have to stop and watch. I promise you. Roadhouse, terrible movie, but I have to stop and watch it. And Top Gun. If Top Gun is on, you stop and you just wait till it's over. There's nothing you can do with Top Gun.
Yeah, well, for me, it's Shawshank Redemption and Ocean's 11, 12, or 13.
You're right, so, Shawshank. No matter where Shawshank's at, it could be where Red just got released from prison and is on his way to go meet Andy in Mexico, and you're watching that final 20 minutes.
Right, and the problem is the rest of the world just has to wait.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I know there's a 4.5-minute commercial here, but what do you want me to do?
I mean, how could I miss?
I have to see it.
How could I miss Red taking his knife out and carving into the beam where Brooks was here right after Brooks put that in there and hung himself? Yeah. Red was too. How can you not watch that?
Good. And I don't care. It's an emotional feeling every time. Have I seen it? Probably. The whole movie entirety, from start to finish, I probably watched 5 times.
5-6 times, easy from start to finish.
The ending, I've probably watched 45 times.
And it always seems I catch it right as Red is in the motel room where Brooks was at.
Yeah, I agree with you because the P Blake Boss is one that it just sticks with you.
It's just
it's a great
movie, and you're right. That's one. That's something we should do one day. Talk about the top 10 movies you and I have that. If you're sitting on the couch and you're thumbing through the TV, you just turn it on, you're thumbing through. What movie makes you stop?
Well, in Top Gun, for me, it was transformational. I had just joined the Navy in like their delayed enlistment program, and when I watched it, and I was like, yes, that's what I'm going to do. And I knew that my billet wasn't going to be anything near flying an aircraft. But then later in my life, I served on the USS Midway for a couple of weeks, and I stood on the flight deck when they were launching those jets. And that was as real as it got with that movie. So,
oh yeah,
I can't wait for the second one to come out.
It's coming out soon. It's coming out soon.
The one thing I will be disappointed about is COVID. It's Top Gun was supposed to be released on my birthday, and because of COVID, it wasn't. Let's get over this. The vaccine, 90 to 95% effective. I need everybody else to take it so I can go to the movies and watch Top Gun.
100%. Hey, let me ask you this. Before we go to break, we got to go to break real quick, but what's the chances that if we ran this question by Dan Martone, his movies would be like Sleepless in Seattle, Clueless, Encino Man?
No, you got to remember that Dan was in movies.
Oh, that's right.
It would be
Patch Adams.
Right. Anything that Robin Williams ever did, he loves Bicentennial Man. That's all you need to know.
Yes,
Bicentennial Man would be in his top 5.
Let me tell you.
It would be in his top 5.
Biodome would probably be in his top 5, too, if he was.
Oh, gosh. Oh, my gosh. Terrible.
Oh, that's the greatest actor ever in Pauly. Okay, never mind. We're going to break.
Yeah,
We'll be right back after this timeout on Ocala Talks with Tom Schmitz, talking with Galen Unall from Life South.
Hi, this is JP from Penn Flooring here in Ocala. I would like to invite you to come in and visit our spacious showroom where we have solutions for every style and budget. From wall-to-wall carpet to hardwood floors and tiles, we have an unsurpassed selection of flooring. At Penn Flooring, we've provided quality customer service with a family touch for over 25 years. Visit our website at pennflooring.com or come by our showroom, 1201 Southwest 17th Street, just over the bridge. Penn Flooring, quality customer service with a family touch.
People ask me why I've worked at Palm Garden for so long, and I tell them it's the people. I love to hear the life stories, especially those from the greatest generation. Celebrating life stories is what sets Palm Garden apart, finding out what's important to them. And I love being a resource. Like Macy's Santa, if I can't help, I'll send them to Gimbel's. After all, Palm Garden is located on 34th Street. I'm Jan from Palm Garden. Call me and let's chat. 854-6262.
Now you did it. Are you completely insane? He's back. He, who must not be named. The man, the myth. The only guy in Ocala to eat his own weight in fried pickles. Twice. Now, you asked for it. Sorta. Live and in person. It's Tom Schmitz.
Welcome back to Ocala Talks with Tom Schmitz. On the phone, Galen Unall from Life South, brought to you by the good friends at Penn Flooring, family owned and operated, serving Marion County for over 30 years. Penn Flooring is a full-service flooring company dedicated to finding the best solution for your flooring needs. They have experience in both commercial and residential fields. They're located at 1201 Southwest 17th Street right here in Ocala. Go by and see their very large showroom of product, or you can call them at 352-351-3420 for more information. We'd also like to thank Palm Garden Health and Rehabilitation Center, located at 2700 Southwest 34th Street. They offer skilled nursing, physical, occupational, and speech therapy. If you have any questions concerning Palm Garden Health and Rehabilitation, call them at 352-854-6262. That's 352-854-6262. Let's go back out to the phone lines, talk with Galen. You know, Galen, we were talking about our favorite movies and what would make our top 10 list. But, you know, one of the things that I know to be true is that it's something we have to have. And people talk about the top 10 list for movies or everything. But movies, I'm a big movie guy. I like to watch them in the Lazy Boy at home now and catch them after they've left the theater. But there's been a big void with no movies going on for the last 8 or 9 months, and Hollywood not even making any because of COVID.
Well, you know what? My wife and I were talking about this. What I have found is that the quality of TV movies or television has incredibly, significantly improved. So, you know, if you look at like what Netflix has, my wife and I just watched the series called The Queen's Gambit. The acting in that was incredible. And they're relying more on acting instead of all the, the special effects that you find in most of these big budget movies, because movies themselves over the last, let's say 20 years have got pretty stale. I mean, everything's another superhero remake or a reboot of a franchise that was in the 80s. They even tried to make a Footloose movie again. Yeah. And you can tell that's gotten, Hollywood itself has gotten really stale. And so my hope is that they come out of this, almost like a rebirth, and that they can go back to creating original movies. I mean, I love James Bond. I love James Bond. But, that was going to be the two blockbusters of the summer this year, was going to be the James Bond movie and Top Gun 2. Neither of which is very original.
No.
And so maybe they were going to, and then and I don't think the Academy Awards helps it anymore, because everything has to be incredibly woke in order to win. And I think that's actually hurt Hollywood, and I wonder how they're going to come out of this pandemic. I'm hoping they come out of it with more originality.
I just don't understand this whole, you got to be woke. I'm awake all the time. I don't know what the people are talking about. I guess I'm not a hipster. Because I'm awake all the time. Sad news from the entertainment world, though. You brought up James Bond film. Sean Connery passes away at 90 years old recently. And then I would be remiss if I didn't bring up a guy who I have idolized for 30 years. Anybody that does the job I do outside of radio, which is trivia, definitely knows this guy, because you steal a lot of his material, or a lot of the material from his show for your questions. You just reword them. Alex Trebek finally succumbed to pancreatic cancer, fought it for well over a year, which is a lot longer than most people live from it. But, I didn't think Drew Carey's fit well into The Price is Right, but he's no Bob Barker, but it came through okay. I don't see how Jeopardy survives this. They're going to have to really swing for the fences to find somebody to step into the. I thought Bob Barker was a legend. Alex Trebek is a legend as well.
Well, and Bob Barker did it for longer. And I mean, Drew Carey helped because he was such a fan of the show that he understood.
Right, he understood
the nuances of it. I don't know what you do with Alex Trebek. I really don't. Because of the pace of the show, he set that, the tone of the show. And his laughs were so subtle.
Oh, yeah.
Because he never wanted to distract from the actual game. And, there are serious Jeopardy players, and he appreciated that. It was never meant – you never watch Jeopardy to say, I'm going to get a laugh. No, you watch Jeopardy to tax your mind.
100%.
And that was the purpose. And that'll be hard – that's a hard gig. Because remember when he started, they were like, "Oh, this guy's lifeless."
Oh yeah, I remember.
He's not an entertainer. I'm like, no, you're right. He's none of those things.
But he's not supposed to be. It's all about the questions and answers on that show. It's not about And that was what he was so subtle to. Even though he was a big star because of the show, he never thought the show was about him. It was always about the questions and answers. And that's going to be very hard to find.
He did have a knack for when you said when you were wrong, he did have a knack. It was like, no. And it was almost like, you moron, how did you not know that?
Yeah, they immortalized. Remember they immortalized, ooh, sorry, no, sorry.
Yeah. Especially when you missed your final Jeopardy answer, and he's like, you're a moron.
Yeah, but that's exactly what it was. And it was an obvious answer. Everybody at home is screaming, how did you not get that answer? And he goes, ooh, sorry. And you think Alex gets it. He knows they're a dumbass.
Sure. Yeah.
That was the beauty of Alex Trebek, is his wit and his ability.
Again. I'm really curious as to what they're going to do. I guess he finished filming this season, so they have some time to think about it, and they're going to have to give it another run. It's too successful of a franchise not to.
100% it'll have to stay on TV. I just don't know. I mean, what do they go get Ben Stein maybe? I don't know who. Ben
Stein's old.
I know.
Ben Stein's like 89. I mean, you're not saving anything.
Bueller, anyone?
He's and he was a speechwriter, so he likes to he likes to talk.
He was a Nixon speechwriter, wasn't he?
Right, sure was.
Hey, where's the Bloodmobile at today?
Hey, today we're going to be at the Planet Fitness right there on Mary Camp, so stop by there or come see us right there on the boulevard at 1607 East Silver Springs Boulevard.
Galen Unall from Life South, as always, he joins us every morning at 8 a.m. But this Friday, you got your Friday free this week, pal. I don't know what you're going to do.
Yeah.
I don't know what you're going to do.
Bye week for the Wolfpack until they host their first playoff home game in the history of the school. So I think I'll do all right. I'll figure it out.
Galen Unall. Hey, talk to you tomorrow, buddy.
All right, thanks, my man. Bye.
Galen, he's got good opinions, good conversationalist with me every morning, and he agrees that Dan Martone's favorite movie that he must stop and watch is probably Clueless. But what are you gonna do? Coming up after the break, we'll take some of your calls. Carol Ann Baldwin in the garden with Master Garden with Carol Ann Baldwin at 9 o'clock. You're listening to Ocala Talks with Tom Schmitz. I'm coming to you live from 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, WOCA, just outside the Paddock Mall entrance in the Brick City Beautiful, Ocala, Florida. We'll be right back.
Casting from the Paddock Mall Studios, this is WOCA, Ocala, Gainesville, The Villages, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, The Source.
USA Radio News with Lance Pry.
In a leaked memo to the Associated Press, U.S. Attorney General William Barr authorizes federal prosecutors to probe substantial allegations of voting irregularities. Barr continues, I authorize you to pursue substantial allegations of voting and vote tabulation irregularities prior to the certification of elections in your jurisdiction, in certain cases, as I have already done in specific instances, referring to a man in Texas being arrested after trying to cast 1,700 stolen mail-in ballots. The Attorney General on CNN.
Which is the bipartisan commission chaired by Jimmy Carter and James Baker said back in 2009 that mail-in voting is fraught with the risk of fraud and coercion.
But since then,
and until this
administration haven't proved it.
Let me talk.
Yeah, please.
Since that time, there have been in the newspapers, in networks, academic studies saying it is open to fraud and coercion.
USA Radio News.
Attention business owners body slammed by overwhelming debt. If your business is in trouble, hassled by creditors, if you're frustrated, finally fed up with big business bailouts while your business has been left for dead, please listen close.